The main event of night 2 appears to be Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. I'm actually rocking my Edge shirt here on the pod today.
And I got
going back to the mid 2000s, the rated R superstar himself. Daniel Bryan in there, that's a good little mix. I think a lot of people, though, would look at that Roman Reigns element for it and kind of like roll their eyes back. Where are you stand on Roman Reigns as a character, as a performer? Because I know the guy gets a lot of heat for being the cookie cutter model.
So here's the thing. Obviously, he's a part of the world famous, Anoa'i family, which, includes The Rock, which includes the Yokozuna, which includes, the Head Shrinkers, the Wild Samoans, just long lineage of just, great athletes that have come through and made Vince millions, if not billions of dollars, right? It's only proper is that, the head of the table, if you will, is Roman Reigns. I get it. We were talking about with, the Great Khali business-wise, why it makes sense that Roman keeps getting shoved down our throat. However, the reason why people started to boo Roman Reigns has nothing to do with him as a wrestler. He's actually a fantastic wrestler for the type of wrestler that he is. Perfect. He's a great looking guy. Every girl that I have known in my entire life who has seen a picture of Roman Reigns, immediately the room gets a little bit more humid. He's got that going for him. Kids love him. Any live event I've ever been to, where, Roman Reigns is headlining and whatnot, the house shows, kids go wild for him. It's just that the male demographic, we rejected him, put myself in there because I'm wearing the Daniel Bryan shirt, is because a couple years back when, everybody was getting behind Daniel Bryan, he was the guy with the it factor. And it just seemed like the storytelling was, we'll have him start the card, whatever. Like he'll lose to Sheamus in 5 seconds. He'll get into some, non-beef with Jinder Mahal or something like that, we're just not going to care about. And it's just like, no, we want more from him. It's kind of like Eddie Guerrero, where people were salivating for him to be the champion. It's just like, no, this is the guy we want. We don't want the year before all this, it was Batista. They were Boo-tistaing him at, the Royal Rumble. It wasn't the guy the fans wanted, the people's champ, if you will, was Daniel Bryan. And when, Roman was, placed into that spot, they weren't booing him necessarily as a character. They were booing the storytelling. And that just kind of followed him because management or, the writers or Vince, they weren't listening. They just kept saying, nope, Roman's going to be the guy. Roman's going to be the guy. We're going to have him go up against Triple H and beat him. He's going to be the guy. We're still going to boo him. We're going to have him go up against The Undertaker, make him go out on his back, retire The Undertaker, if you will. Nope, we're going to boo him because, so they just keep hating on him. And they never, like John Cena, they never turned him heel. And in order for people to love you, they have to be hated. Check out his cousin right here, The Rock. He was hated. There was a chance of die, Rocky, die, until he turned heel in the Nation of Domination, and people absolutely loved him. They love an asshole. That's how Stone Cold got over, is because he was a bad guy. He was flipping off, Bret Hart, who was the guy. And so the fans want to boo him, but not because they hate Joseph Anoa'i. They hate the character that's being shoved down their throats. So this WrestleMania is perfect in the fact that they inserted Daniel Bryan, because in my opinion, when I fantasy book, WrestleManias every single year, the perfect story to tell for this WrestleMania is Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, knowing that the fans, we know the behind the stage comings and goings and whatnot. And then on screen, they both have chemistry. So, when I'm fantasy booking, during Corona times, I'm thinking like the perfect main event for WrestleMania would be Roman and Daniel Bryan, and have them tell the story of the reason why these fans are booing me is because of your little ass or something like that. And then Daniel Bryan saying like, well, if you were doing your job right, they wouldn't boo, cut that promo. And then, I love it. Mm-hmm. I checked out of wrestling for a while, in the mid 2000s. It got a little, I wanted a girlfriend more than I wanted to watch wrestling on Monday nights. Right. So, I checked out for a while, but the last wrestler I remember loving was Edge. And I remember actually crying a little bit when he had to retire. And that's when I started to check out more. It's like, okay, well, Edge isn't going to be there now. So, fuck, what's there really to get excited about anymore? So having him there, too, it seems a little weird. It was weird when he won the Rumble, but I like it in the fact because I'm one of those fans where I'm not going to complain about what's in front of me, because I know, or I hope when WWE does this, when they book in the future, there's no better storytelling in the world. I don't care who you are, Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino, but having a program where, let's face it, Roman Reigns is probably going to retain the title, and having a program with Daniel Bryan and Edge coming out of WrestleMania, those are always the most sketch times, because, you know, the storytelling is so wobbly. But here is a scenario where you can have two fantastic wrestlers, two of the best of all time. You know, they don't need the belt to be successful or to tell a great story. You can have Roman win it and then start a new feud with somebody else. But then you have Edge and Daniel Bryan right after Mania. They start a program. Would be beautiful.
You know, it's interesting to think about the symmetry between all three of those guys involved in that event, too. Obviously, Edge, premature retirement. Dan O'Brien had to prematurely retire. Both are back. Roman Reigns had to kind of retire for the reasons of having to go chemotherapy. So all these guys have had to overcome some sort of adversity to continue their career, and now they're all in a main event with each other and headlining night 2, which I would say is probably the main event of the main events between the two nights, now that we are in this 2-night formula for WrestleMania. Correct. So that's a really cool story, and I hope that the WWE took advantage in storytelling on that one.